Hello and welcome to the Plottwist podcast, is what I would usually say. I will label this as episode, I don't know, number such and such, but I am coming to you from the north of Germany post-move. If you've been here before, we have moved from Berlin to the north of Germany, and the move has happened, hence the large break between episodes, and I will just do my best and fill you in on what's been going on and what I've been making amidst the chaos, which means that I really don't know when to record except when the kids are in bed, or I have to do it when the kids are in the next room, which adds to a little bit of which presents a host of challenges like noise, concentration on my part, very poor lighting as I've seen today, because I was able to record a little snippet because I thought, okay, so this is just not going to happen. And like me sitting down in a specific corner and doing this with peace and time on my hands and focus and mental capacity, this is just not going to happen, because this is also not what's happening now. Don't be mistaken, there is not much capacity and there's a whole lot of havoc. So I thought I have to go for more of a vlog style, where I take a few minutes here and there to introduce you to a project that I've been digging up or casting on or have bound off or whatever. So, and that's what I tried to do this afternoon. And then I looked at the footage because I couldn't see myself on camera as I was filming. And the light is so horrible. I mean, I think I'm going to include the little video. You may have seen it just before this clip, or you will be able to see it after this one, but it's quite comical. And I mean, I don't know what I'm doing here. I am new to this. I have to learn this. Please just bear with me and my efforts. I mean well, I promise. Okay, anyway, so maybe this is where I'm going to start. I was talking before, or maybe you will see this after, I'm assuming. Otherwise, everybody will turn off immediately and, cancel their subscription if there's any. So anyway, so if the other snippet will be included after this, I will shortly show you briefly what I've been working on. Also, light was so poor that not only was half of my face covered in shadow, you can't say that, right? But you could only see half of my face, if that. But also the colors did not show at all, and I don't know how they're showing now, but they're fantastic, I think. And yes, you've seen these colors before on my knits, and let me tell you, you will see them again, because this is just so beautiful to me, those colors. Anyway, so it's what I dug up from my stash, and I've knit this Saturday shrug. I've never knit one before. I don't know if it's supposed to be that skinny, but it sure stretches, right? And I'm not pulling hard. So you're supposed to pull this over your head and then over your shoulders and then down to here so you can move, but just so that it covers the upper part of your torso, really. And it's like a shrug. So it's not a poncho, but it's more than a shawl. So that it goes down to here. And I like the way, and she's still very good at this, that Jackie styles her knits. And I mean, she's such a stylish person. I am not such a stylish person. I'm wearing my duck socks and leggings and my sweater, and that's as fancy as it gets with me. I don't even wear earrings. I don't even have my ears pierced, and I hardly ever wear makeup. So, but when I saw what she did with her shrug, and I thought, oh, this looks so nice. And it's a casual, but also sort of chic look. It looks intentional and yet just thrown on. And that is just what I'm going for, because it's all I have time for. And also it's all kind of a care for. I was never a fashion person. I was a handmade clothes kind of person, but not a fashion person. I never bothered. So not that you shouldn't. It's amazing if you are that person, right? But I'm just not. Anyway, so that's what I cast on. It's a pattern in the sense that it's a recipe and you can do whatever you want with it. And I think I'm going to wear it this way. This is supposed to be up. And I think I'm going to cast off after this blue stripe so that it's blue on both ends. I kind of like the symmetry of it. And I'm going to make more anyway, so if in the future, so this can be my test, what's that, test bunny, guinea pig, whatever, and I can just wear it if I decide, oh, I want it a little bit longer or wider, which I could imagine, then I'm gonna shoot for that with my next shrug. I'm definitely going to make another one. I really think so. I'm definitely probably making another one. So, and this lives in my little Wollen Berlin bag. So, project bag that I got at my old local yarn store. It will always be my local yarn store because I think of myself as a forever Berliner because it's where I was born and raised and lived almost my entire life. So, with very few exceptions, like a few months here and there. But, yes. I'm from Berlin, even if now I don't live there anymore. And also I had my passport changed and that felt really good. I'm really proud to now be living where I am. Proud, it's a weird word for that context, but like I am a proud citizen here now. That's our heating system that makes those little noises. I'm sorry, nothing I can do about it. Anyway, so then for the move, I realized, because I was knitting on my week under light, and I still am. I got to the sleeves and I started knitting a sleeve and I had to rip back because it was too snug. So I cast it on again and I'm like a few centimeters into my first sleeve, and that's where, for some reason, didn't pick it up anymore. It's just right there in a beautiful basket that I have gotten for my birthday for all my knitting stuff, which I'm going to show you, some other time. But, the basket, that is. But yeah, I wanted something mindless and quick and something I would not have to think about at all, but that would give me colors and stripes and happiness. And so a stripy sock. I wanted, I saw that my local yarn store, so Wollen Berlin, had a Schreepjes yarn, I think is what it's called. On offer. Now they're sold out because I wanted to order more, but they don't have it anymore. They will again, I'm sure, but well, anyway. And it's a self-striping sock yarn. It's a 6-color repeat, and I bought it two skeins just before the move, so I could cast on in Berlin and then knit on it on our way here in the car. And that was really my knitting when we arrived, because or in the first 2 weeks, I hardly knit on anything else except stripy socks because it was so soothing to me, and also everything else was so chaotic that I couldn't really do anything else. So, no, not the first 2 weeks, but the first week for sure. That was very overwhelming. And I mean, tangent, but I'm linking the latest Legacy Fiber Arts podcast episode because Sue has also moved just a little before we did, and everything that she describes, I feel that exactly the same. That feeling of I am where I belong, I want to be here, I know it's right, but it's so hard. Moving is so hard, and you don't know anyone, and then your kids start meeting people, and my husband meets people at work, and I don't know anyone at all except for our immediate neighbors. But it's so hard. Moving is so hard. Not the logistics, yes, that too. Because we're still living on a construction site, kind of. I mean, we bought an old house, so it's not like we don't have a house, but we bought an old house and we have to do renovations, and we basically live in our dining room, our living room, which is where I'm now. And no, I did not choose this color. This is what the house came with. This is going to be redone. Don't look at me. It's not that I hate it, but it's also not that I love it. It's just a color that I can accept for now, and don't really honestly think about, but it's going to be redone eventually when other things are done. And I don't know where my sentence even began. Because I just don't. Yeah, not knowing anyone, right? And settling into a space, both the home and the community and the area, and figuring things out. And it's so hard. It's good, but it's so hard and so draining. And you don't have energy for the easiest things, and then having 3 little ones, that's not helping. But yeah, anyway, my kids are settling in fine, and that gives me so much comfort knowing that they have the possibility to anchor themselves, that's so good. Anyway, so it's just incredibly hard, but also right and good. And there are moments when I'm just honestly very happy, and then there are moments when I'm so tired and so exhausted. Today I have such a headache. I don't know, life's hard, people, but life's also good. Anyway, so these are my socks. I knit them because stripy socks, just vanilla in the round, nothing, no pattern, no nothing, just a sock that, like I always say, you can wake me up at night and I know exactly where I am and I can go, like, with my eyes closed. I knit a pair. They don't match. I don't care, because I'm not a person who cares whether socks match or not, but it gives me some satisfaction that I have since, because I didn't know how long, it's 50-gram balls, how long the 50 grams are going to last me. So I did not want to run out. Not that it would matter. You can always add in other colors, but that's the small ball of yarn that this is for my second pair of socks. Scheepjes. If you're interested in any of the colors, look on my Ravelry page. I mean, this one I can tell you right now, it's color 406, and this is the Scheepjes Downtown series. The self-striping. As soon as they are back in stock, I'm going to stock up. And because it's also perfect for gift day. Everybody enjoys striped socks in the round. And if I want to go totally crazy, I can always throw in a 3x1 rib or something to give them a little more structure. Yeah, but I don't need to. I bought contrasting yarn with that in my order because my entire stash was packed up, and I wanted to have contrasting heels, cuffs, and toes, and for some reason this is coming undone a little bit. So this is Ficolana Avetta. They changed their label, and I'm sorry, but it looks weird. What have they done? This is supposed to be yarn, but it looks just like a hot mess. It doesn't look inviting at all to me. I'm sorry. I don't want to be a party pooper, but I just really don't think this looks nice. Color 808 is what I'm using for contrasts on both socks, because no, I could not be bothered to, buy 2 skeins. So this is my second repeat, and to finish my thought from before, no, this is not my second repeat, but this is my second pair of socks. You know what I mean. So with this sock, which I knit at kindergarten while my son, when kids are new in kindergarten in Germany, the parents stay there every day for a few hours with the kids until they are slowly separated, and then you sit in the hallway or in the kitchen or wherever, and then eventually you're going to leave the place for a half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever. We're not there yet at that point, but that's okay, because he, in his old kindergarten, it didn't take as long. This is now he's been there for 2 weeks now, so it's not a long time. But with the move and everything changing for him, I can totally understand that he doesn't want me to leave. I really honestly can understand that. And I'm not in a rush, because my daughter's only starting, she's only able to start kindergarten here in January when she will have turned 3. So it's not like I have free time anyway, so I can, whether I'm there or driving back at home, I can honestly rather stay there. Doesn't matter. So, and to take myself out of the equation a little bit, I sit in a corner or in the, hall, and knit away on my stuff. And that's what I do. I finished those there, and I knit this, and I figured out from counting my leftover yarn from the other pair that I can knit 2 entire color repeats, so 12 rounds, no, 12 stripes, for the leg each, and then I'm gonna need another 12 for the foot each, and that will give me no leftovers, I think. That's what my math, told me. So I've turned the heel, you can see that, and I have started the gusset decreases, and that's where I am. And yeah, this is just a quick overview, so I'm sorry if you can't really see anything, but you're going to be able to see it in the future, or maybe over the next days when I knit a little bit on it, and I'm going to just record a little snippet here and there. I might, I don't know, but let's just say I will, and then you'll see more. There's going to be a better episode and a more well-versed and sparkling and awake me, with someone with more energy. I just wanted to, before I sign off for today, show you what I have bought, because I found a yarn store, or I should rather say my husband found a yarn store for me here, and he did that just before, before we moved even, because I think he wanted for me to have that excitement. And we have a yarn store, so good news is we have a yarn store, some like 4 or 5 kilometers away, so that's really around the corner. So like it's just a few minutes in the car. So there's a yarn store, and they have beautiful selection, but bad news is they're closing. They have an online store, but it's not the same. They have a knit group that will have a different place to meet. So that's cool, but I think you're only kind of eligible, if that's the word, to go if you've bought your yarn for that project from them. So like, I'm not always going to use their yarn, so I don't know. And I still think I'm going to go, because that's the place to meet my kind of people, right? But still, yeah, it's sad that they're closing, but they got evicted from their really beautiful shop because the family is going to use that place themselves, that that belongs to, and so they didn't obviously find something else yet, so they will continue their online store, but not won't be able to shop in person, and that's kind of a bummer. But the good thing is that I still got a chance to go and see what they had, and the brilliant news is that everything was 50% off. So that was also kind of the dangerous a dangerous moment. But I'm pretty good with not buying things that I don't need. But still, it's yarn. I mean, who am I kidding? Of course, I bought something fun, other yarn that you're going to see when I knit it up. And then this, which I think I'm going to cast on soon. And yeah, I'm just going to show you. This is, I think, all alpaca yarn. And aren't those colors so gorgeous? And in my other little snippet that I recorded this afternoon, I talk about the video that I saw on the Caddy Jacks podcast, YouTube channel, that's the word, YouTube channel, on color theory and color types. I'm a winter, so and I know about my, what's it called? Skin type, color type, you know? I know the colors that I, as a winter, can wear. I mean, you can wear whatever you want, you know? And also not every winter is the same, and not every spring type is the same, and so on. I've never had an in-depth, you know, sort of workshop where they tell me which sort of winter I am, and I desperately want to do that, where you get a little bit more insight on like the specifics, sort of, and not that you have to do, not that you can only wear the colors that they tell you to or whatever. It's just that it gives you a little, you know, this sort of knowledge just gives you more, I don't know, agency with your color choice. It just gives you a little bit of knowledge that you can, that will take your color work or your knitting in general to the next level, sort of, and just make it yet more custom made, right? And they said in the video that it's a good idea to take colors that you know you can really pull off and that make you look bright and let you shine, and include a color that is a little out of the comfort zone but still within the wheelhouse, but that you wouldn't necessarily wear on its own, you know, and to include it, well, they talk about how to include that. And I thought this could be the color, because I would not wear it on its own, because it's a color that I adore, but it's not my kind of red at all. Not at all, but I mean, there would be worse choices, but there would be such better choices, right? Whereas with this color, I'm pretty confident, and I don't think I can go wrong with a dark gray, because I can wear black, you know? And I thought if I included this with these two, because I think they look amazing together, it might work. And then the project that I think of doing is the Soho Square by also Jackie Rose, and it's sort of like the half and half triangles wrap, also with that line going across. So hold on, it's a square that consists of two triangles, and they're knit in opposite directions so that the sides like come together, the direction of knitting and that direction of knitting come together, and so the rows that come together form like a V shape, right? And because they're at an angle and connected via this line that runs across the middle diagonally. I'm making this sound like it's rocket science, but it's really super easy. Again, I have bought the pattern. I'm just assuming that's how it works, similar to the half and half triangles wrap, right? But so if the entire thing is gray, and then you will have two stripes in the middle, and then they will be, if the red is up, they will be reversed on the other side, so that the red is down, so that the green and the red will collide and the red and the green will collide, right? And then it will continue on with gray. And then, however, I mean, you really have to look up on her channel, because then you will know what I'm talking about, or you will probably have seen it already anyway. So if this is your square, you can, you know, depending on how you fold it, it will look totally different. But now I don't describe it right, because there's going to be a fourth color involved, isn't there? Because one triangle is going to be like the gray triangle, and the other would be a different color. Maybe I don't have enough colors. Huh. That would be a bummer if I had to go back to the yarn store. I don't know, but I have other alpaca yarn, so that wouldn't be a problem. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is it's a little square that you can wrap around your neck, or like she puts everything in her hair, which I love. but you can wear it as a little shawl and it will just provide pops of color, and it changes very, like the tone of that square changes very much depending on how you fold it. It's pretty, it's very pretty, and it's clever too. It's really engineered with color combinations in mind, and that makes it very neat. So anyway, it's what I'm trying to do with these, or going to do with these. And this is, what is this? Amano, Puna by Amano, 100% alpaca. I'm going to try and show you. It's made in Peru, 100% alpaca, so it's going to be incredibly soft and squishy. So this might be something that I cast on sooner rather than later. I think so. And that's about everything that I can squeeze into this evening. I promise I'm going to be back with a more proper sort of episode, but I did not want to wait for too long before I get to catch up, because I have been waiting quite a while. Now we've been living here for 3.5 weeks, I think. I don't even really know. I would have to count the days. I think it's 3.5 weeks. Sounds like a long time, but it wasn't that long ago that I told my oldest son, like, oh, we've been living, oh no, and my oldest and also my middle son on the same day, but individually. I told them, so today we've been here for 2 weeks exactly. And they were like, what? And they both said, and it was so interesting to me, they both said, it feels like we've been here for so much longer. My younger son said, like, at least for 4 or 5 weeks. And my older son, who's 8, so the younger is 5, the older is 8, he said, it feels like we've been living here for months. And he meant that in a very good way, also with regard to school. And I felt very happy about this. And also I felt the same, not for months, but 2 weeks was not what it felt like, much longer. So now we're finally a little more ahead with 3.5 weeks here, that, the move really is almost a month away. But still, it feels like our life in Berlin is very far away from us, very far away, which is okay. I'm not, my husband went back to Berlin to fix the apartment so that my mother-in-law, who lives in the same building as we did, is going to be able and give our keys to the people who rented us the apartment, so the company that did, and then they will do some renovations, and then the next people are going to move in, and she will be able to do that for us, which is good, because then we don't have to go back another time. And that felt so weird, knowing that this is really a place we're not ever going to go back to. Also broke my heart a little, but at the same time that was good, that we could close that chapter and wouldn't have to worry about the old apartment anymore, about the things that still had to be done there, and the stuff that still had to be that was we had a built-in closet that we still had to take out, and so on. And so that's now all in the past, which is weird, but also good. It's a necessary part of this entire endeavor. And I wouldn't change it, but that doesn't make it easier. And moving someplace else entirely, and also at the same time, deciding for a completely different lifestyle, because that's also what we're talking about, is sort of like having your first child, where you really want that, and or that's what I experienced, and I knew quite a lot of what was going to come my way, and I wasn't wrong. I had realistic ideas about what was going to come, you know. But still, when you're doing it, like when you have your child, and when the first, you know, when this happens and when this happens for the first time, or when you are that tired or when you are that frustrated, it just feels, you feel it like you obviously could not before, and you could not really imagine what that would be like. So I think I knew what we were going to face here, like how our lifestyle would be and the things that would change and the challenges that, you know, would come our way. And I was realistic about that, and also in many cases pretty spot on. But there are just things that you cannot know intellectually, but that you have to live through. That's the beauty of it, but that's also where overwhelm kicks in, you know. And yeah, it's just a very big change, you know, going from one lifestyle to the other. And I think it's as big a change as going from living in the city, in a big city, as opposed to living on the country, in the countryside. Really, it's I feel like it's as big a change now, not forever, but for now, as going from being childless to being parents. Anyway, so I'm going to sign off now, and thank you for for tuning in if you did, and sticking around till the end. Thank you for hanging out with me, or allowing me to hang out with you and to catch up, and thank you for listening to my rambles. You will now, I am assuming, be able to hear my rambles from this afternoon about my shark. Excuse the lighting again. It is what it is. I will figure out a way to, you know, keep in touch with you and keep catching up with you. And I will definitely, I will for sure settle into a new routine. I'm sure of that. I'm interested in seeing what that routine will look like. And yeah, take care. I don't know if I'll talk to you again tomorrow. I might, and turn this into a proper sort of a vlog format. I don't know. I don't have any idea at all. Okay, so if I don't see you again, take care. Happy knitting, and bye. Hi, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is a very sort of impromptu sort of thing, if you couldn't guess. The big move has happened. We have moved. I don't know the angle that you're going to see. I hope you can even really see me. And it's weird because I have to look down a little bit, so kind of stooped here. Everybody is home, so I'm recording with everyone home, and we can only inhabit a small part of the house as of yet, which is why you will probably hear some background noise, and also which is why I haven't recorded prior to, you know, today. Because I literally have at least 2 kids with me all the time, like every minute of the day. So that leaves me with a time when they've gone to bed at night, and that's just not a good time to record anything. I feel like I will, but it hasn't worked. And I figured I'm just going to, I think I'm shaking the table that the camera is on, I'm sorry. I figured I just am going to film little snippets here and there, show you what I'm working on, like a project at a time, whenever I have 10 minutes of the day, and then I'll put this all together. It's going to be a lot of editing. I don't know if it's going to be pretty, but it's going to work to the extent that I can communicate with you and show you what I'm working on. And I will have, you know, gathered some footage over the course of, I don't know, 2 or 3 days, I hope, so that it's more of a vlog sort of thing that I'll be able to put out, but I will be able to communicate and talk to you. So that's what is important to me. And you catch me just at the right time, if I do say so myself, because I'm about to finish something that I cast on, I want to say, about a week ago. maybe a week and a half ago. And for that project, it's the Saturday shrug that I'm talking about. I'm about to bind off, and I'm debating whether I should knit a row, not a row, but like a stripe more or not. I'll get into that in a second. For this project, I went stash diving, and that was kind of a challenge with the entire stash being up in boxes. And also not in the same place, but like all over the house. So I memorized the boxes with my stash because those were the very important boxes. And they're in several boxes. I mean, I don't have a huge stash, but it's strewn over a handful of boxes because I could not only pack yarn, but I had to do, you know, sort of lose the yarn as a lighter material and then, you know, put in something heavier. But I went stash diving nonetheless, and I, you know, collected together, not even scraps necessarily, but partial skeins and just random skeins that I happen to have, or precious skeins that I've never wanted to, you know, use up, but now I figure I've had them for 4 years, so it's to use them lying around. And I wanted to make the Saturday Shrug, which is a pattern by Jackie Rose, who is half of Caddy Jack's Knits. She's designed a free pattern with a shrug that you just, I mean, there are different versions. Just pull it over your head. You pull it down to here and have it up your neck, sort of like this, but a bit more loosey-goosey. By the way, this is my Light Breeze. Can that be? This guy could be called Light Breeze. It's a pattern by Hoagie Locatelli that I knit maybe 5 years ago, I would say, out of Cascade 220. Those 4 colors I got in New York at Nitty City, and the others I bought here. This, and this. Anyway, I striped it myself, could not be happier, and you can clearly see that I have a color scheme going, or not scheme. I mean, it's none of this is intentional, but this is my color palette that I love and adore. Anyway, so these are my scraps. Scraps tell you everything about someone. Like, they tell you exactly the sort of color person that they are. By the way, I'm gonna link Jackie Rose's, so Jackie of Caddy Jacks, video that she has with someone else, and I'm sorry, but I forgot her name now, about color theory and color types. Oh, that was so amazing. And the connection that she drew between colors and poetry and colors and language. Oh man, that blew for me as a literary studies kind of person, scholar. I thought, how have I never thought of it in that way? And also it became so clear to me why color play is, for me, one of the top 3 things in knitting. So anyway, if you do want to know what I'm talking about, check out that video. I don't have the time now to go into it, but this is amazing. It was absolutely stunning. And I like her anyway, so, and that was, her guest was fantastic, and it was so interesting and so fun. And so she has designed this. It looks small now, but it goes, like, it really stretches. It's 1 by 1 rib. And you put, I'm not going to put it on because it's on needles, but you see how that stretches, and then you put it over your head. It's still attached to yarn. You're supposed to stripe it, but I mean, of course you can do whatever you want, but I went with that and just did some random stripes. Some of the yarns are held double with mohair, like this and this. This is held single. This is held double with, no, even triple, which is a, you know, pain in the butt. I really don't like holding things double, even triple. And then sometimes people knit a sweater holding yarn quadruple, and I'm like, what are you even talking about? Why would you do this to yourself? But they seem happy with it. I just think it's hell on wheels. But anyway, so this is held triple with 2 strands of lace weight alpaca yarn that you would have seen me use in other projects. And this is held double with the same sort of strand as this. Oh, this is my, so the second lace weight strand is my Wollmeise yarn that Francie, hi Francie, that she gave me. Oh, and here, it's in here too, in those 3 stripes, And this, of course, is the same blue repeated over and over again by my friend the dyer is my friend Debbie of the Loving Path yarn from Canada. She has this colorway called Midnight. I think it's just so beautiful. So this is my shrug so far. And I don't know whether I should stop here after this stripe, because I think I would hit the 50 centimeters almost exactly with that length. Or so, because that would be kind of neat, because then I would begin and end with the same color. I hope you can even see me. So yeah, I would begin and end with the same color. That would be kind of fun. I like a certain symmetry in a project. On the other hand, I'm sorry. On the other hand, it also would be kind of fun, especially with that project, to mix it up a bit. And my next combination would be this. So it would be this pinky, very light pink yarn held together, if that's enough. I assume even held triple with 2 strands of this Lamana Premia mohair yarn, which is white. Not white, but like sort of creamy white color. So it would be a pretty bright light stripe to end off. To finish off the shrug. So I don't know if that's such a good idea. But then again, why not? Why not? I could try it. I can always rip it out, but anyway, so that's what I'm working on. I'm very much in love with the project. It is crazy fast. Not crazy fast, but you can use thicker yarn. I don't really have thick yarn. The thickest that I have, but none of it in sweater quantities, is oh, by the way, I'm missing 1 box of stash, because that contains 2 skeins of DK weight yarn. Anyway, the thickest that I have is DK, which is why I had to hold it double. With something else. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna finish here. This is my shrug. I'm excited for it to be finished. I'm excited to cast another one on, to be quite honest. Don't know about the colors yet, but I'm going to shoot for something brighter, with more pinks and I wanted to say pinks and oranges, but I don't do orange at all, so that's a lie. With more pinks and I don't know, just brighter colors in it. I don't know. I'll see what my stash holds. Pinks and grays, probably. Okay, so I hope to be talking to you soon with another project, so as to fill you in slowly but surely. I hope this format will do, and I will actually be able to use all of this footage. Again, sorry, I think I'm shaking the camera. I'm gonna head off now to other things around the house and with the kids and so on. And I hope to talk to you soon. Bye. Hi. Same spot, natural light, so that's going to work better. I wanted to quickly check in with you, and for the sake of completion, also show you my weekender light, which I have been working on, but not a ton over the last few weeks. But anyway, since I've been working on it for a while, this is how far I've come. See, so I think this is the back. There you go. So I did the split hem, I did the short rows, and I have seamed together the shoulder part, leaving open this, what is this called? Boat neck, I think, opening. And now I have started knitting on a sleeve, and look at the needles that I chose. Hi, I need to stoop down. Look at those needles, those really old ones that I don't use anymore, but just like the ones that my grandmother used to knit with. I don't know if these are hers, but I just have them for emergencies. And this was an emergency because I couldn't find my other needles, and I had to go up a needle size from the body because the sleeve turned out too tight, and I have that thing where sleeves I usually need to go up in pattern sizes for my sleeves. But what I did here is I picked up more stitches and I went up a needle size. So as to accommodate for the fact that this is really the smallest size, I think, that I'm knitting because of gauge. I don't really recall, but it has to be gauge because otherwise I would not choose the smallest size. So, and then I couldn't find the right needles and I had to resort to those. Of course, they work just fine, but still, it's a little funny to me seeing those old ones. I don't know. Do you have any of those? In Germany, everybody used to knit with them. See, like those tubs, I don't think you can see how the tips are so blunt. See? And the tips are totally blunt and left completely shiny. So that's my weekend light. I just want to have it all ready to go and finish that project and have my mind all cleared, for another project because I desperately want to dig out my festive yoke sweater that I've been talking about for a year now because I really want to wear it for Christmas because it would be such a shame to finish it in January and then not have it, for another 11 months. So, yeah, so I am going to pull this out maybe today because I wrote this on the box. Some of the works in progress that I thought those are important, or even some like specific crafting things. I wrote them on the box specifically, not just stash or crafting, but ball winder and festive yoke sweater. So yeah, I think I'm going to pull this out, and I want to get this off my needles so that I don't have that many big projects going. Okay. That's it for now. I'm a little grumpy about Advent being so short this year, so that the Advent Sundays only start in December and not, in my opinion, last Sunday should already have been the first Sunday of Advent. I know there are reasons, but blah, 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 but I'm just not happy about that. And I thought I'm going to kick off Advent season. Advent season is not even a word, but like at my Advent a week early. And I got myself a mini skein from a homespun house. She has her surprise minis. So those are 5 20-gram minis. And I got myself a surprise bundle. And I just said in a note, I would like, pinks, blues, purples, jewel tones. And that's what she assembled. And I think it is perfect. I was super happy. So I didn't open it when it arrived, but I really opened the package or that part of the package on Sunday. And isn't that gorgeous? I mean, obviously this is my favorite, but it's a beautiful gray that has like a purple tinge. I also like this green. I'm not a mint person. I'm not a green person, but beautiful. I also love this. And this green works with the other colors, and I definitely have something in mind that I'm going to do with that. Also, I have one son who has red hair, so I can always make something for him because he can really pull this color off, which I can't, but it can definitely be included in something. And that's what I wanted to show you real quick with regard to yarns. And then I'm going to pull out what I made this morning with my kids. So hold on a second. So we had a beautiful little making session. So my kids both crafted. My oldest son was in school, and my other two were home because my daughter isn't yet in kindergarten here where we moved. And my middle son is in kindergarten, but today his group had to close because, the teachers were sick. So we were all here and we crafted together. So it was fun. Sometimes it works, right? And I made this. I don't know, might be 10 or 12 something. I made envelopes. That is super pretty. Because that is, someone made a list And that was an article about lists. It also goes on the back. And I love the list on the front. And that smudge isn't mine. That was there to begin with. And so I collect individual pages from magazines that I think will make good envelopes or cards, greeting cards, birthday cards, Christmas cards, whatever. And today was a day when I pulled out from my paper stash, if you will, from my supply for envelopes. And then I made some while the kids did other things. And I think they turned out beautifully, if I do say so myself. And I can't wait to send off some lovely cards to friends. Van Gogh, I love him. I do. It's a little tacky, but I love him so much, his art. That is beautiful because now we have moved up north and it's where we don't live by the sea, but it's about an hour's drive to the sea, and we're the North Sea, so where there's a lot of wind and a pretty rough coast. So that is just perfect. um, Something autumny because we're just on that, threshold between autumn and winter. So that is a card for one of my friends who's a cat person. I'm not so much, but she is. And that is just very pretty. And that is also going to be a letter for her waiting to happen, and see how pretty it looks on the back. So you can see that girl holding her mug. I thought that was really pretty. I love this one. I think this is very pretty. My kids wanted to steal that paper from me, but I wouldn't let them. That's sort of a woodland scene. Little bunnies and deer. And this one I really think is very pretty also. Hope you can see. Okay, so there you go. As a little inspiration for when you're flicking through your Christmas magazines or what, just in general, or seasonal magazines, and you feel like the pages are really pretty and you wonder what you're going to use them for because you don't want to throw them into the recycling. Make envelopes out of them because it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to receive and send them. So yeah, that's what I did today. Okay, I just wanted to let you know, I hope you have a beautiful kickoff into December and Advent, and I'm gonna sign off for now. Bye. So here I am again. It's just about 15 minutes later, if that. I've changed the setup a little bit, so because that didn't make any sense, me crouching down. And I quickly wanted to show you what I got because yesterday we moved across the country, so we don't really know the area that well yet. So we went sort of into the city, which is about it's a very small city, but it's a 20-minute drive, something like that. And because we had to go shoe shopping for one of my kids and blah blah blah. So, and then I came across a little yarn store. It's they also have like sewing stuff. It's pretty commercial. Like they don't have anything hand dyed or fancier, but they have pretty decent commercial yarns, And I saw Christmas yarns in the window display, and I thought, okay, perfect, because I've really been wanting a new Christmas yarn because I've used up everything that I had for socks, right? So I'm talking sock yarn. And so we went inside, and my kids went crazy. Like with every other ball of yarn, they were like, I want a sweater out of this one. I want a sweater out of that one. They had a pretty good eye for colors and stuff, but I was like, no, hold on. That's not going to happen now. So I picked which is which now? I think I picked this one, which screams Christmas, right? So that was just right. That was just what I was looking for. So these are going to be socks for me, and I'm going to include, I don't know, heels in one of those colors. Or something entirely different, like neon yellow or something like that. I don't know. But I'm just gonna see what I have that goes with that. And that is sort of the same quality, so standard German sock yarn. I might also choose a lighter green or a gray, I don't know, whatever it is that I have. I know that I have white, but I'm just not a fan of white heels, cuffs, and toes. But I'll get to that when I get to that. So that is one. This is the other. So this is all Lana Grossa, so a German um, commercial sock yarn, very sturdy. This is what my middle son chose. He wants socks out of this. And I bought this stuff that you can put on the sole of the foot that is a little bit like, not like glue, but you know, you put it on like glue and then it dries, and then you have um, a sort of a rubber substance so that you don't slip on wooden floors, which is what we are dealing with here. So, which is also why they never used to wear socks indoors. Because A, they were too warm, and then B, they would just have slipped the entire time and fallen. But here, while the floor situation is not the same but comparable, the house is obviously much colder as compared to our second floor apartment. So they need something on their feet. And I talked to them, and we've decided that I want to try this rubber thing on the sole of the foot. So this is going to be for my second son. And then my daughter is going to get, either one of the leftovers, because it's definitely enough for 2 pairs of socks each. And then my son, my oldest, chose this. I think the representation isn't so bad. So same brand. Hold on, the colorway is color 326. It's a neon green with black and gray, and then white tweedy nubs. Do you see those? I don't know that you see those. The other colorways are, which I forgot to say, 6781, the one that's for me. And then this one is number, hold on, 6782. And then there was a sparkly version, I think of this or either one of those, but I only saw it in the display, didn't see it indoors. But then I thought, okay, so that's going to be enough knitting for this Advent for sure. And there's surely going to be leftover for next year. So anyway, so that's what he chose, my oldest son. It fits. He's in that neon kind of phase, and it looks like there's a little snow on there. Can you see that? I don't know how I feel about white tweedy effect. That wouldn't have been my jam, but okay, it doesn't have to be. And I will have to find something that goes along with that, heels, cuffs, and toes, so as to give that sock a little structure. I think he wanted socks out of this, because then he requested a sweater, and I was like, no, hold on, honey. Socks is what I can offer right now, and that's also what you need. All the rest is like all the rest. We have to talk about that some other day, because now I cannot start knitting 5,000 sweaters. Not because I can't or I won't, but it's just beyond my brain power. That's all. But so that's what I got from that little yarn store. And yeah, I'm gonna have to dig through my stash. Oh, you know what I did? Did I tell you last time? No, I don't think I did, because I think I only unpacked later. So I did. I'm leaning forward again. So I did a little. I can knit a little bit as we chat. I unpacked my entire stash, and like all of my yarns and all of my works in progress and also all of my sewing stuff, because I thought this is just not a good situation with everything in boxes. and me having to go through all of those boxes that are strewn across the house for several reasons, um, several times a week, because that was the situation at hand. And I thought that's just not going to be very sustainable for a long time, because I need to be able to access my yarn and my supplies. That's just a fact. And I had the cupboard because kind of inherited or got gifted from my father an old, beautiful cupboard of his that is, well, all wood and has beautiful glass doors. It's not old, but older and very beautiful, um, and very heavy. So the moving people carried it upstairs where it's supposed to live, but the room where it's going to go isn't finished yet, and it won't be for quite some time. So we're talking a few months down the line, not just a few weeks. And so there was no way that it made any sense to wait for that room to be ready. But also, it was just not going to happen that my husband and I would carry that bastard down the stairs. And I mean, excuse my French, but we weren't going to carry it down here and put it up someplace here. Also, that would have meant, had I carried the thing down here and put my yarn in there, my kids would have opened the doors and pulled out everything all the time. And that, just the thought alone, is enough to drive me up the walls. Because I'm a little bit of a control person. And while I try to swallow that with the kids, it's also something that creeps up to the surface during the move quite a lot. And I didn't want to put myself in a position where I would be triggered all day long. So I said, this does not make any sense. And long story long, so I unpacked my stuff, put it in the cupboard where it belongs, where it was supposed to go the entire time, just in its preliminary spot. So it's a complete mess, the room that it's in now. But it's set up and I can access my stuff and I can use my stuff and I know where everything is, and not just I have memorized 2 or 3 boxes where those are, until somebody moves them and the search starts afresh. So now I know where everything is. Also, I have everything in one spot, which I've wanted for quite a while, because that gives me just a better overview of what I have and also of how much I have. And I can use the container method now, which the minimal mom always says, make the container the bad guy. So the cupboard is my yarn cupboard, and that is going to have to be enough for storage. My whips, they can be, wherever it is that I'm working on them, right? Everything doesn't has to go there, but my yarn stash and my supplies have to go there. And when it's full, right? And that gives me a good feeling of how much have I worked through? Is it okay to purchase this now? Should I wait? Do I want to wait? Do I want to have all of this at home? Because I'm not comfortable with a huge stash, that overwhelms me. So, yeah, that's what I've wanted for a long time, to have that in one place and to have a clear frame of reference, right? So that one cupboard. And don't you worry, it isn't tiny, but it isn't floor to ceiling either. So for me, it's a perfect size. And I mean, I kid you not, it's full, right? And I had to push some things in harder than I would want to admit, but yeah. And it's filled with joy for all intents and purposes. So I'm very happy to have everything in one place. And I'm also very much looking forward to pulling individual projects from that cupboard. And just right now, as I was watching Natalie of Nitty Natty go through her 10 advents, have you ever heard of that? Totally crazy. I mean, what an amount of advents. Oh my God. That would for sure overwhelm me. But I mean, good for her. And I'm very excited to see all those Evans and to see what she makes with them. But as she was talking about what she might make her Advent project for, one of the Advents or two, I thought, okay, so what am I going to knit on during December? I mean, obviously my socks, right? And then obviously always socks right now because it's just so soothing. And hold on, what happened here? It's very soothing, and it's what I need right now. The soothing repetitiveness of a sock, and also the soothing mindlessness of a sock. Because you can wake me up in the middle of the night and I'll know exactly where I am and what to do next, like with my eyes closed. And that's just the sort of mental capacity, that I can swing now, that I can deal with now. But yeah, and then I thought, what else am I going to knit on? And I thought I might pull out my jelly roll blanket again, but I'm not quite convinced. It doesn't feel as though that's it, I also want to finish my festive yoke sweater. Maybe that's something. Okay, so I had to flee because the kids were crazy. I was just wondering, and that's all I wanted to say. What are you working on through the months of December? And because maybe there is inspiration for me to be found there. Do you have a special project, or do you just keep working on what you're working on? Let me know. It's gotten really quite cold, but I love it. It hurts in the face, the cold, but I think it's beautiful. And finally, I get to bundle up in all of my knits. I'm wearing my half and half triangles wrap outdoors for the first time, so I can be nice and cozy and warm around my neck and shoulders, and it's the best thing in the world, I can tell you that. So you can see we've had a bit of snow, and the kids want more and more and more, and so do I. I hope we get to enjoy some more snow and just winter weather. Real good winter temperatures, that's what I want. Below zero, below freezing point, that would be amazing. This is our garden that I'm working through, by the way, which still has to be managed, but we'll do that when, we're back in spring and everything, garden life begins again. For now, I hope you have a beautiful start to your Christmas season or holiday season, whichever it is that you're celebrating, and I hope you can relax into it. I try to find some peace and calm in my garden now and walk a few steps, just be in the fresh air before I head back inside, where we have a fire cracking. And is that how you say that? So where our wood burning oven is making everything warm and cozy. And I just played my piano for the first time in a long time. And I need to get back into a daily rhythm, but it's still very much a question of finding my rhythm with everything here in the new place. But all of this will come. So I hope you have, as I said, a beautiful beginning of Advent, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye.